You're watching CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown.
Hello, I'm Juan Fernandez, and here's a look at your top stories. Rapper Sean Diddy Combs is apologizing for the disturbing video showing him assaulting then-girlfriend Cassie Ventura back in 2016.
My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video.
Combs admitted to the security video, which shows him basically chasing Ventura in a hotel hallway and then assaulting her. Here to give us insight on the ramifications of the hotel attack is LA criminal defense attorney Rachel Fisay. Rachel, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Let's get started with this first question here. Sean Combs strongly denied any wrongdoing until the security video that was obtained by CNN was made public. So what do you think that he hopes to gain from the apology video that he put out over the weekend?
Well, it's pretty hard to argue that he didn't do it in the face of that video. So now he's not left with a ton of choices as it relates to explaining himself to his fans and other people that are watching basically the cases unfold against him. So I think he made a PR decision and decided to apologize and admit what people are seeing with their own eyes.
Yeah, and we're not going to be showing the video right now, but I will tell you that the LA County Attorney District's office says they can't file any charges because this incident now, 8 years later, is outside the statute of limitations. So can we talk a little bit about that, Rachel?
So what you see on the video is incredibly disturbing. It is an assault. He is not using a weapon. He is hitting and kicking and dragging her. And if it's classified as a simple assault, which there's nothing simple about what's going on, but it may not rise to the level of an aggravated assault. That's a statute of limitations of 1 year. If it's aggravated, it's 3 years. We are well outside of that time period, no matter how it's classified, as it results from the actions that happened that day. And Cassie could have gone and filed a police report and started an investigation at that time. So the DA has a statute of limitations. It's, there are crimes that must happen inside of that time, generally speaking, for them to prosecute them. And this is outside of that.
And so many people, whether celebrity or not, they just don't come forward. Either they're embarrassed or maybe they're scared to do so. And I'm sure we see a lot of that too, right?
This is domestic violence, and you see a lot of it, and it's difficult because we don't know what happened immediately thereafter. Did they make up? Did he apologize?
Right.
And something encouraged her not to go to the police at that time. And it's not unusual in these circumstances that the police are not involved.
Well, with that said, Rachel, multiple people did come forward with serious allegations against Combs. Can that tape, the security tape, have any impact on those civil cases going forward if they do decide on pressing charges?
I would say this security tape, should there be charges going forward, even civil lawsuits going forward against Diddy, I think that this security tape will be the subject of debate in all of those cases because the plaintiffs or the prosecutors in those cases will likely argue to have it included for relevance, for MO, for how he treats women, depending on what the case is. And the defense team will continually argue that this video is too prejudicial to a jury and should never be seen. Whether it sees the light of day outside of the public view is yet to be determined. It will be close calls.
Yeah, I think you already answered that question, but can someone bring that tape, even though it's not connected to a current case? Can they bring it in easily, or would the defense possibly say, hey, no?
So this is somewhat kind of the subject of the appeal in the Weinstein case, which is unrelated cases have now come in.
Right.
And that's what the argument would be, that this unrelated action to whatever case is proceeding is related because it shows the modus operandi or a scheme or pattern that Combs demonstrates. And that would be the way to get it in. You can't simply get it in to show he's a bad guy, but if it's directly related to the actions of which he's accused later, there is a chance it comes in front of the jury.
Well, we'll see what happens. All right, Rachel Fisay, thank thanks for your time and your insight. A real pleasure having you here with us this afternoon.
Thanks so much.
All right. Well, if you or someone you know is a victim of domestic violence, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is available 24/7. Just call the number you see there on your screen. It's 1-800-799-SAFE or text the word START, S-T-A-R-T, to 88788. All right, now to a dangerous stunt pulled off on the abandoned high-rises across Crypto.com Arena. The site has been the scene of many problems. Luzdelia Caballero is working on that story for us.
I'm Luzdelia Caballero, and we are in downtown Los Angeles on Figueroa Street, just outside of Ocean Wide Plaza, which is a mixed-use development, a $1 billion mixed-use development that's been vacant for years now. Now, it's attracted artists and also those who want to do extreme stunts. You can see these buildings that are vacant. They are full of graffiti. We're talking more than 27 stories. And back in March, city council members agreed to allot more than $3 million, almost $4 million, to clean up and secure the site. But they haven't been able to. In fact, the latest stunt is a tightrope walker who got to the top of two of those towers, was able to string along that rope and walk from one tower to the other. His name is Ben Schneider. He goes by Reckless Ben on YouTube, and we talked to him. He says it's actually very, very easy to get past law enforcement. It was easy then, and he planned the whole thing out. And he also says that it was very easy to just jump over the fence and run away after he finished his stunt. So coming up on KCAL News at 5, we hear from him how he was able to pull this off, and also more on this vacant building.
All right, we'll have more from Luzdelia coming up at 4. Meantime, turning now to your weather, a live look outside. We're looking at Santa Monica. What can we expect for the rest of the week? We woke up to those clouds once again, but looks like we have a little sunshine, Olga, along the coast.
Yes, and that is the good news. Finally, we are seeing some clearing along the coastline. Some spots still seeing some cloud cover out there. Look at this. We have a blanket of clouds. Corona, though, looking good, 71 degrees. And actually, when I checked just about a half hour ago, we were seeing some cloud cover, even for parts of the Inland Empire. We have some sunshine out in Lancaster, so things are looking up. Here's our 3-hour loop, so you can see that that cloud cover continues to recede as we head towards later in the afternoon, and temperatures starting to warm up just a bit. However, because the clearing has occurred later today than yesterday, numbers are actually down from what we were feeling over the weekend, especially for places like the Antelope Valley. We're down 12 degrees in Lancaster, and that's because we had some cloud cover early this morning. As we head into places like Malibu, the coastline also seeing a little bit of sunshine this afternoon, late afternoon at least, and by the 9 o'clock hour, numbers dropping down into the 50s before we look at low 50s, and then cloud cover starts to move in as well as we head into late tonight, although that marine layer will not be as deep as what we experienced over the weekend tomorrow. Highs today, 65 along the coast, upper 60s for LAOC Metro, low 70s into the valleys and Inland Empire. High desert, you'll be in the mid 70s. That's quite the drop from the weekend where we had mid to upper 80s, and mountain areas you will be in the upper 50s. Here's a check of winds. This really has been an issue for the last several days for our desert and mountain communities. We are seeing wind gusts in the 20s, in the 30s as well. So elsewhere, feeling those calm winds, but for the higher elevations, we do have those wind gusts, and we do also have a wind advisory in place for the western Antelope Valley area. That continues through 9 o'clock tonight. We're seeing gusts up to 40, even 50 miles per hour. Here's a check of futurecast. So want to show you what's happening. Here's this trough of low pressure that's been bringing us that deeper marine layer, the cooler temperatures, but that's going to start pushing off to the east. That's going to weaken our onshore flow. So temperatures will rise slightly as we head into Tuesday and Wednesday. And then as we head into later in the week, we have another area of low pressure to our north. That's not going to bring us rain. We're going to remain dry over the extended period. But once again, temperatures will drop by a few degrees. The good news is we have this ridge of high pressure starting to move in as we head into early next week. This is going to be your Memorial Day Monday, so temperatures will warm up a bit just in time for the holiday. LAOC Metro looking at low 70s and upper 60s. We'll feel more of that warm up for areas a little further inland, like the valleys. Upper 70s tomorrow, low 70s returning by Thursday into part of the weekend, and then temperatures start to rise as we head into Sunday and Monday, once again into the mid to upper 70s. For the Inland Empire, there's that warm up Tuesday, Wednesday, that cool down by the middle end of the week, and then rising again to near 80 degrees as we head into Memorial Day. For our deserts, 80s turning into 70s and then 80s once again. So kind of that roller coaster pattern for our weather the next 7 days. Mountains, you will be in the 60s, as will be the case for our beaches, where yes, we're going to see some cloud cover, but that May gray pattern is going to continue with us over the next several days. Juan.
Olga, thank you. Troubling findings in a USC study published today. Researchers say fluoride exposure during pregnancy has been linked to an increased risk of childhood behavioral problems. The study analyzed more than 220 mother-child pairs. And according to researchers, nearly 3/4 of Americans consume drinking water that contains fluoride. It's a practice that began decades ago to help prevent tooth decay. Right now, there are no official recommendations for limiting fluoride consumption during pregnancy. Researchers hope these new findings will change that. This has been CBS News Los Angeles, The Rundown. Thanks for joining us. I'm Juan Fernandez. We'll be back live at 4 right here on CBS News Los Angeles.